Good morning, students. Today we are going to read the market failure in the topic of allocation of the resources in the subject of economics O levels. So concentrate yourself. Here we are going to start. The nature of market failure. Market failure occurs when market forces fail to produce the products that consumers demand in the right quantities and at the lowest possible cost. So, three things are very important in the nature of the market failure. Number one, the things which consumers demand. Number two, in the right quantities. And number three, at the lowest possible cost. So if these things are not done, definitely the market will be failed. In other words, market failure arises when markets are inefficient. There are a number of the indicators of market failure, including shortages. So these are the indicators which shows that market is going to be failed. Number one, shortages. Number two, surpluses, because the quantities should be in the right amount. Next, high prices, poor quality, and the lack of the innovations. So these are the indicators which shows that the market is going to be failed. If left to market forces, some products may be underproduced, some overproduced, and some may not be produced at all. Next, prices may be high due to the lack of the competitive pressure and difficulties in lowering the cost. So definitely if there is a lack of the competitive pressure, definitely it will be difficult to lower the cost, because there will be no competition at all. So businesses will be free to set the prices. A lack of the investment and the reduction in the expenditures on the research and development can also slow down the improvement in the product. So if there is lack of the research and development, innovations will be very less, and new type of the products will not be produced, and the quality will not be improved. Next topic that we are going to read in the lecture is the failure to take into account all costs and benefits. So first we are going to read two definitions. Number one is the private cost. Private costs are those costs borne by those directly consuming or producing a product. So persons or the firms which are directly consuming or producing a product will have the private cost. Next is the private benefit. Private benefits are those benefits received by those directly consuming or producing the product. So this is the definition of the private benefits. The rainforest in the Amazon region of the Brazil are being cleared at a relatively rapid rate. The firms that are engaged in logging in the forest are only taking into account private cost and benefits. So look now, this is an example which will make your concepts clear. So the firm which is engaged in clearing the forest will have, in this case of logging, in this case of a logging company, private cost will include, for example, the cost of the transporting the wood and the cost of the labor, because this is the thing which is borne by the logging company. So these are the private costs borne by the logging company. Private benefits are the benefits received by those directly involved in the consumption and production of the product. The private benefit logging company receives from selling the wood is the revenue it earns. So definitely the revenue is the private benefit for the logging company. The company will continue cutting down trees as long as the revenue received by it exceeding its cost. Okay, next we are going to read the two new definitions. Number one is external cost. Number two is external benefits. External costs are those costs imposed on those third company who are not involved in the consumption and production activities of a project directly. So these are the costs actually imposed on the third party, which is not involved in the consumption and production of the activities. And external benefits are those benefits enjoyed by those third party who are not involved in the consumption and production activities of the product directly. So these are the costs and benefits which are actually borne by the third party, which is not involved in the production or consumption of the activities. Okay, those indirectly affected by often referred to as third parties. So this is the definition of the third party. Those indirectly affected by often referred to as third party, which are not directly involved in the production and the consumption of the activities. External cost caused by the logging companies may include damage to wildlife habitat. So these are the external costs which are not borne by the logging company but by the others. So external costs caused by the logging companies may include damage to wildlife habitats, loss of the plant species that could be used to develop medicines, global warming, and interference with the lifestyle of the local tribes. So these are the external costs which are actually put on the outside of the company, outside of the logging company. The external cost imposed on those living nearby may include noise pollution, air pollution, and water pollution. So these are the external costs. On the other hand, external benefits may include reduced transport cost for tourist firms in the area due to the construction of the roads by the logging company. So definitely the logging company will construct roads for the transporting of the woods, and these roads will give the benefits to the other persons also. So these are the external benefits. Okay, next we are going to read the two new definitions. Number one is social cost and number two is social benefits. Social cost are the total cost to the society of the economic activity. These include the addition of the private cost and the external cost. And social benefits are the sum of the private benefits and the external benefits. So social benefits are the total benefits to the society of an economic activity. If the decision to produce chemicals is based only the private cost to the firm, there will be overproduction because the firm is actually earning a lot of revenue. So the company will produce more. Figure 1 shows that only the private cost to the firms are taken into account. Then the supply would be SS, whereas the full cost to the society is higher than at SX. The difference between the two is accounted for by the external cost. The allocatively efficient output is QX, but the market output is Q. So look now, only the private costs are considered by the logging company. So company is actually producing the quantity Q, whereas the requirement in the society is QX. So because the company is not considering the external costs, so the company is putting more resources in producing the product, so more production is there. So it means excess of the supply is in the market, whereas the requirement is QX. So company is actually producing SS, whereas the requirement is SX. Demand based just on the private benefits to those consuming the product will lead to underconsumption and hence underproduction if the total benefits to the society is greater. So this is the point to be understand, that if the total benefit to the society is greater and if demand is based just on the private benefits, the company will produce less. So it means the excess demand will be there in the society. For example, among the benefits students may receive by undertaking university degree courses are greater numbers of the career choices, higher future earnings, lifelong interest, and lifelong friends. So these are the external benefits of the degree for these students. So look now again, greater number of the career choices, higher future earnings, lifelong interest, and lifelong friends. The social benefits include not only these private benefits, but also the benefits to the other people, external benefits who will be able to enjoy a higher quantity and quality of the output. So these are the external benefits. The previous were the private benefits. So if these students got these kind of the interests, definitely the society will also be also enjoy from the educated students. Number one is higher quantity and quality of the outputs, as graduates are usually highly productive workers. In figure 2, demand for the degree courses based on private benefits is DD, while the total benefit to the economy is DX. The number of the degree courses that would be undertaken if left to market forces is Q, whereas the number which would cause the maximum benefit to the society is QX. So look now. So if left to the private benefits, so this is the DD, which demand, which is actually producing by the company, rather than this is the DX. DX is the demand that would be for the society. Okay, the company, if left to the company, so Q will be produced rather than QX is the demand of the society. So under production will be there. Whenever there is a gap between the total effects on the society and the effects on those directly consuming and producing the products, market will fail to allocate resources efficiently. So these are the two cases in which we saw that the market has been failed. In one case, there was a overproduction, and in second case there was a short of the production. Here is a question. In March 2006, demonstrations by Argentinians held up the construction of the two large cellulose factories on the Uruguay-Argentina border. The demonstrators claimed that the factories would pollute the local river, harming local tourism, farming, and fishing. A part is identified to private cost of building the factories. So the private cost will be, among the private costs are the cost of buying the land and the building materials and the wages of the workers. So these are the private cost. B part is explain why pollution is an external cost. Pollution is an external cost as it harms those who are not directly involved in the production and consumption of the activities of the production involved. For example, those living near the factories may keep bad health as a result of the carbon dioxide emissions from the factories. That's why this is a external cost. The next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is the information failure. For consumers to buy the products that will give them the highest possible satisfaction at the lowest possible prices, they have to be fully informed about the nature of the products on offer, the benefits they can receive from them, and their prices. So this is the, if this is not happen, so it will be information failure. Workers need to know. So this is the example for the workers now. This was the example for the consumers. So for the workers, what is information failure? Workers need to know what jobs are on offer, the location of the workplace, the qualifications required, and the remuneration they would receive. So this is the right of the workers to get. But if these things are not properly transferred or known by the workers, that will be information failure. They should also be aware about the nature of the jobs for which their skills are best suited. Okay, for the producers, what is information failure? Similarly, producers need to know what products are in the demand, where good quality raw materials can be purchased at lowest possible prices, and what are the most cost effective methods of the production. So these are the rights of the producers to know, but if information is not actually going to the producers properly, that will be information failures for the producers. If they lack this information, they will make decisions that are not in their best interest, besides consumers paying more than required and buying products of lower quality than available. So this is the drawback. This will be the disadvantage for the consumers of the information failure. Workers may end up in the wrong jobs, and producers' cost may be higher and revenues lower than the possible due to information failure. So these are the disadvantages for the producers and the workers of the information failure. Information failure can occur in a number of the ways. So these are the ways due to which information failure can occur. Number one, there may be a lack of the information or inaccurate information. So this is number one reason. Number two, there may also be asymmetric information which occurs when consumers and suppliers do not have equal access to the information. So this is another way. So some have the access to the full information, and some have unequal access to the full information. So this may be the other reason. For instance, if a car mechanic tells a motorist that her or his car needs an expensive repair, so it is quite obvious the motorist may lack the technical knowledge to question the advice. So if he or she does not have the full knowledge, so definitely he will rely on the mechanic. The next thing that we are going to read in the lecture is the merit goods. A merit good has two characteristics. Number one, people do not realize the true benefit. Number two, usually these goods have positive externalities. So these are the two characteristics of the merits goods. So read it again. Number one, people do not realize the true benefit. They do not realize the full benefit of the thing. And number two, usually these goods have positive externalities. So they create good impact on the third party also. Therefore, in a free market, there will be under consumption and therefore underproduction of the merit goods. So because the businessmen actually look for the profit, so they will not understand and they will not produce the things according to the requirement. Examples of the merit goods are healthcare. People underestimate the benefits of getting a vaccination. So this is a best example of the merit goods. If people do get a vaccination, then there will be external benefits to the rest of the society also. For example, higher output as a result of the workers having less time off work because they will be healthy enough and they will not get off and they will do to their maximum, hence being more productive and prevention of the spread of the diseases. So healthcare is an example of the merit goods. Number two is the museum, the educational benefits of the museums. And number three is the education. People may undervalue benefits of the studying. So these are the three best examples of the merit goods, because if the people are educated, they will produce quality and best products for the society as well as they will be mannered and they understand the things more good as compared to the others. So these are the benefits of the education to the society also. To tackle this problem, government could lower their prices by giving subsidy. Number two, it could also seek to encourage consumption by providing information about their useful effects. Also, if it thinks that the consumption of these certain products causes considerable benefits, it may provide the product free to the consumers and or make it consumption compulsory. So these are the steps which can be taken to tackle the problem. For example, inoculation against a range of the diseases is provided free, and the wearing of the seat belts in the car is compulsory in most of the countries. So these are the actions which are taken by the government to tackle the problem. Figure 3a shows the demand which will exist if left to market forces, DD, and demand based on the full benefits to the society is DX. To persuade consumers to purchase the allocatively efficient quantity of QX, the price of the product needs to fall to P1. Figure 3b shows this being achieved as a result of the SIPS subsidy, shifting the supply curve to the right. So the figure 3a, this is 3a, which actually shows the underconsumption if left to market forces, because people do not realize the true benefits of the product. So actual requirement is DX, but the people are demanding DD because they do not realize the full true benefits of the education. For example, the advantages of the museums and the of the seat belt. So when government gives subsidy to the to merit goods, supply will be increased and prices will be decreased, and people will then demand more. So this was the lecture number 1, students, in the topic. So I hope so this will be much more easier for you to understand now. So read this lecture again, understand it, learn it, and make your notes. Thank you so much.